Hi to all the blessed souls. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to take out time and listen to my video. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Sparsh Heal Your Life. I'm sure all of you are blessed with little things in life, like a beautiful house to live in, friends around who are always there to listen to you, to understand your problems, a supportive family, parents who are there with you, kids around, and a partner to be with. These things are actually the blessings of our lives. And we often forget to cherish these little things in our life, right? Okay. So the topic that I'm going to touch upon in my video today is a small discussion over depression. I know depression is a very sensitive topic to talk about, and what I often notice is that people very easily label themselves as being depressed or having depression. And that's the sole reason I decided to make a video on the same today. So next time, before calling yourself as being depressed or labeling yourselves with certain depressive symptoms, it's very important to know that depression is a clinical state. Only after you visit a certified clinical psychologist and only after you go through certain standardized tests, a clinical psychologist can diagnose you of having depression. If you have not gone through any standardized test under the guidance of a clinical psychologist, you certainly are not depressed. Okay? So a person who is going through depression or is going through certain depressive thoughts basically undergoes three broad symptoms. One is loss of interest. The second is loss of energy. And the third one is a lack of motivation. So whatever thoughts the person is having, whatever emotions the person is going through, whatever behavioral responses the person is showing, he or she lies within these three broad arenas of lack of interest, loss of energy, and a lack of motivation, right? Also, to mention over here, depression consists of a thought, and in response to that specific thought comes a certain emotion within us. In response to that thought and that emotion comes a behavioral pattern. So what usually happens is we tend to judge a person by the kind of behavior the person is executing, right? But we fail to understand that behind that specific behavioral pattern, there are some thoughts and there are some emotions the person has been dealing with since long. So next time, whenever you actually start judging a person by his or her behavior, remember that there's a lot that person might be going through, right? So choosing to stay in bed for long hours, not wanting to get up, choosing to sleep for long hours, a loss of appetite, not wanting to go out and socialize with people around, failing to fulfill your daily responsibilities, or experiencing a drastic fall in fulfilling your daily responsibilities, is what depression looks like. So these are certain behavioral responses to having depressive thoughts or depressive emotions within you. Okay? And trust me, all these behavioral patterns, experiencing all these behavioral patterns is pretty normal when you have a loss of interest or loss of motivation to live life. So जब आप अपनी लाइफ को लेके ही मोटिवेटेड नहीं होते हो, experiencing all these behavioral patterns is pretty normal. But there's a sad part to it, which is failing to fulfill your responsibilities does not actually help you in dealing with your depression. In fact, it might make your depression even worse. So जब आप इन सब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज से दूर भागते हो, या आप चूज करते हो कि आपको ये सब आपको ये सब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज नहीं फुलफिल करनी है, all these responsibilities do not actually vanish from your lives, right? उसका रिजल्ट क्या होता है? आपकी जो ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं वो पाइल अप होती रहती हैं, करेक्ट? It ends up making you feel even worse about yourself. You start criticizing yourself for not being able to perform your tasks, जो आप शायद एक टाइम पर बहुत आसानी से फुलफिल कर लेते थे. You start feeling lonely. You might also start blaming yourself for not performing your daily responsibilities. You start feeling guilty for not fulfilling the expectations of others around you. And trust me, it's a vicious circle, and it goes on. So what happens gradually is, when you start ignoring your responsibilities and your work for a long time, eventually your work and your tasks start getting piled up, right? जब आप बहुत टाइम तक अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ को या अपने टास्क्स को फुलफिल नहीं करते हो, तो धीरे धीरे आपकी जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ हैं, बिकॉज वो वैनिश तो नहीं होती हैं, दे स्टार्ट गेटिंग पाइल्ड अप, right? Eventually, with time, you start losing confidence on yourself. You start thinking, or you start feeling कि आप वो सब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ कभी भी पहले की तरह शायद फुलफिल कर ही नहीं पाओगे. What happens then is, you start feeling more and more depressed. You start feeling worse about yourself. Slowly and gradually, staying alone, not wanting to meet people around, gradually becomes your habit. अकेले रहना, लोगों से नहीं मिलना, घंटों घंटों अपने बिस्तर पर पड़े रहना, और wanting to sleep for long hours starts becoming your habit, right? You don't even get to know when this behavioral instance starts to become your behavioral pattern, right? But we humans, we are social beings. We are meant to socialize with people around us, right? So this behavioral pattern of not wanting to meet people for long starts creating a gap within us, and eventually that filling that gap seems like an impossible thing, correct? Did you all notice कैसे एक छोटा सा थॉट एक इमोशन में कन्वर्ट हुआ, and that emotion of feeling sad or feeling low slowly and gradually converted itself into a behavioral pattern within you. You don't even realize when this this behavioral pattern of not wanting to meet people, of not wanting to go out and visit friends, starts becoming your behavioral pattern, and slowly and gradually it starts becoming your habit. So if you are one of those who has been going through depressive thoughts or depressive emotions since a long time, it's very important to remind yourself that this depression started somewhere. It started with a small thought. So if you wish to successfully tap on your depression, it's important to remind that there was a thought and an emotion, and then comes your behavioral pattern. So it's high time you should break this chain now. This vicious circle of a negative thought, a negative emotion, and a negative behavioral pattern you have to work on. So you can start with anything that you loved once, right? You can maybe start reading your favorite novel. You can start with picking up a physical activity that you once loved. You can start going out for long walks. You can start talking with friends you once loved talking to. You can also start talking and interacting more with your family members. I know it's not very easy to start with a change or to bring a change within yourself, but it's definitely worth to give a try once. So I'm sure you have been dealing with your depressive symptoms since long, but it's time to bring in a change. All the very best, and I'm proud of each and everybody who has been going through depression since long, and I love you all. Take good care of yourself, and if you liked my video, do like the video, share my video with each and everybody who you think might benefit from the same, and do consider subscribing to my channel Sparsh Heal Your Life. Take care, lots of love.